Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Southern Rural Forum. The Southern Rural Forum's an opportunity for local community to be more involved and influence the work of North Herts Council members and officers. Just a couple of housekeeping notes. We're not anticipating any fire alarms this evening, but if one does occur, can you just please follow the instructions of the officers and head to the designated fire exits? In accordance with council policy, this meeting is being recorded. The recordings are going to be available both via the council's YouTube as well as on the council's ModGov site alongside the documents from the meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone again, and officers and members of the public to this hybrid meeting of Southern Rural Forum, I should have said at the beginning. Before the meeting starts, can I just invite the community officer to explain how the proceedings will work and to undertake a roll call of those attending online to ensure that they can hear and be heard.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So if we can just do a quick roll call of those that are online. I believe we've got two people online. So first, if we could ask Steve, if you're able just to let us know that we can hear you and you can hear us.
Yes, good evening. I'm Steve Smith from Purton Sports and Social Club.
Brilliant, thank you. And if I can have Councillor Joe Graziano as well, just to let us know you're there and you can hear us. Councillor Griffiths, sorry. Councillor Graziano, are you able to unmute just so we can make sure that you can hear us? Okay, he might have frozen. So maybe when it...
Sorry, we've got enough numbers to carry on.
Yes, we have got enough numbers. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we'll come back to you in a minute as well, Joe. But yeah, that's fine. Thank you. I'll carry on to you.
Thanks, Laura. So this is not a usual formal council meeting, so the public are allowed to speak and to ask questions. But if I could ask, if you do wish to speak, please just raise your hand and I will get to you in sequence and in order. We'll be receiving presentations from community groups who are seeking grant funding this evening, and then councillors will be voting to make recommendations to the exec member for governance on those applications. That Joe online now. In the background. The Community Partnerships Officer will then clearly state the result of the vote and the chair will proceed to the next agenda item. If there is a tied vote for any reason this evening, then the chair will have the casting vote. Are there any questions from any of the councillors or from any of our guests this evening before we proceed with the agenda?
So we're just swapping over for chairs now. Councillor Griffiths is here as well. Joe, if you're okay, just to we'll do that again if that's okay, just to make sure we can hear you and it's all working again. You're able just to unmute.
I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Hello. Right, I'll hand back to the chair, and now we have the vice chair as well back again to position. So thank you.
Apologies for absence. We've received apologies from Councillor Caroline McDonald, Councillor Lisa Nash, Councillor Kerr Strong, Councillor Laura Williams and Councillor Munzer. Has anyone received any other apologies to pass on? I think that is everyone actually. Yeah. Oh, sorry, did I not say Claire Strong? Councillor Claire Strong as well. Okay, chair's announcements. Members are reminded to make declarations of interest before an item. They may wish to abstain from voting if they have an interest, but they are merely making recommendations and not public decisions. Item 3, public participation in relation to grant applications. Can I please invite the Community Partnerships Officer to update members on budgets? Thank you.
Thank you. So there is currently £10,702 available on the Southern Rural Grant budget. The total amount of funding requested for the meeting today is £3,750, and if all the grants are recommended and subsequently approved, there will be £6,952 remaining in the budget for the remainder of this year, for the financial year 25-26.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, to receive presentations in support of grant applications. Can I please invite Anne and Neil from Kympton Folk Festival to present?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for taking the time to find out about our project. So this is Neil Burns, Kympton Festival Chair, and I'm Anne Richardson, Festival Family Area Manager. We're here on behalf of artists and schools in the villages of Kympton, Codicot and Whitwell, North Hertfordshire. So what is Kympton Folk Festival? Since 2016, the festival has championed a huge range of traditional and indie folk music genre. We're a charity set up to promote community music making and set up an annual festival. So the Festival on the Green is opened at 11 AM on the first Saturday in July by the Kympton Primary School Choir. This festival is completely free to the community. It is produced by a large group of over 100 local volunteers, stewards, musicians, dancers and craftspeople. The beef from our beef burgers is farmed in our local fields, and the beer is brewed in our local brewery, so it's fully homegrown. The festival's high production values and carefully curated programme ensures that Kympton's festival is of signature quality every single year. So what's the project and why is it needed? So we'd like to next year do something more exciting with our family area and create a children's outdoor folk theatre. We've joined in partnership with 3 local schools in Kympton, Codicot and Whitwell, and a theatre company in Whitwell to support children to design and perform their own folktale production. This project fills a gap in the youth-centred cultural activities in our area. It offers inclusive access to high-quality arts participation. So we anticipate that 100 or so local school children will be directly involved, but obviously other children from their schools may want to come along too and watch. 3 local schools will be involved through curriculum-linked workshops in school. 10 Kympton Duke of Edinburgh participants will support the children in technical and other support roles from the local senior school, KWS, Catherine Warrington. So 1,000 local residents and visitors will be able to attend a professional children's programme for the first time. How will we ensure this project is accessible and inclusive? So we have free participation and free audience attendance for everybody. All the workshops in schools will be delivered by the professional actors at 0 cost to the schools and to the parents involved. There are inclusive roles in performance, costume and prop design for mixed ability pupils. So we've asked for the Southern Rural Grant of £1,500. What will this be spent on? So we're asking professional actors, costume and prop designers and a director. So it will be a professional outdoor theatre for children. This isn't going to be just a local play. It's going to be professionally designed and run. This professional outdoor theatre group have run children's projects before and are experienced in managing the risks of putting on an outdoor performance, which is really important to us. So how will this benefit our wider community? We'll bring local families, schools and artists together in one project. And we're going to offer a really significant cultural event designed by children, helping them to create a modern folktale production, which has the chance to become their own folk tradition year on year. So it has a level of sustainability that once the schools and the children know how, we can produce it again the following year. So what makes this project value for money? So the infrastructure, logistics and creative input are going to be managed by the theatre. So there are going to be no extra production costs. The Living Theatre have offered to cover 50% of the production costs, and they've really kindly said that any extra rehearsals or anything else that's needed, they'll cover all this cost by taking the production on tour around the UK afterwards. So it will be a bespoke production for Kimpton Folk Festival, and then it will go UK wide. The leadership staff at Kimpton Primary School see this project as part of one of the 3 pillars of the new curriculum requirement for Oracy. They were really excited about it, and they've offered to host rehearsals for the 3 schools in their hall. So there's no additional spring term rehearsal costs, which was one of the things that was a spanner in the works. So now they've offered their hall, so that covers all those costs as well. Per cost of 1,000 visitors to our festival, North Herts Council will be exceptionally low per person. So it's £1.50 per person. So in terms of the actual costs, I'll just briefly go. So the actual cost is around £4,800. We're raising around £875,000. We're trying with a St Patrick's Day ceilidh next year and some other music events put on by our local musicians. And the Living Theatre subsidy amounts to £2,500. So they're prepared to put in £2,500 of their own money into the project because they've started working with children and started working with productions, and they're very excited. So this will be the first production that they'll take on tour in the UK. And we've applied for grants from our local council, but we haven't heard anything yet. So the total we would like to request is £1,500.
Okay, thank you very much. That was really informative. I'm going to open to the floor. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask?
Oh, is that live? Thank you. That was extremely clear articulation of the request. So it's probably one of the best Dragon's Den pitches that we've heard. Thank you. Just on the amount you've asked for, is that, I think I did the maths in my head, that's pretty much the balance of what you need to run the event. Is that right? Okay. No, I was just wondering if there's any extra or not, but okay, that's fine. Just making sure that
We're putting on as many music productions as we can up till maybe May next year. So we're pulling out all the stops that way, but there's a gap.
Great, thank you.
Councillor Peace.
I haven't been as quick with the maths as Councillor Ward. So does that mean that you don't actually need any funding from Kimpton Parish Council, or you do still need some from them? I just wasn't quite sure.
Right. We're talking here about.
There you go. Yeah.
So we're talking here about this specific part of our offer. We are a charity and we put on a number of different activities. the whole of the festivals that we organise, our ethos is that we have to offer a large part of it free to the public. So we do a number of paid events where we have people come and pay to see a production in a memorial hall or a church, but we also have a large amount of free activities on our festival. Those people coming can spend all day on the green, the village green, watching free performances, and we also have to find funds to pay those artists to come and perform. So there's a number of different things that we are also running in parallel to this exercise. And if we were to be given any money by another council, it would most likely be to fund, historically, it's been to fund those activities that have been happening since 2016. If that
Thank you.
explains the.
Thank you.
I think also we've just tried every single avenue we can. So we've tried to best fund it ourselves, and then we just saw what grants were out there, and so went from there.
Thank you. Councillor Vijay.
Thanks so much. It sounds fantastic. I love the community elements of it and the fact that it has been a very structured, thought out plan, that it has got broader benefits. I'm just curious, it says here that you've got engagement with 400 children from rural communities. So I was just curious as to how that is advertised out so that more people can benefit from it. And you also alluded to that it might then go on a tour after it, actually. It's just wonder if you could elaborate a little bit more on that potentially.
Yeah.
Thank
So the first one, the theatre have offered to take on the large proportion of the marketing. So they're going to market free tickets on Eventbrite to gain a wider audience, but we will also promote it on our website. And we also have a team who promote our free festival through Facebook marketing. So it's going to be widely promoted.
Should we also just saying, I think the original question is about.
Just speaking, sorry.
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 So the original question about the number of children, because there are going to be workshops and productions in each of the 3 schools. So it won't just be a production at the folk festival.
Yeah.
There'll be a series of productions at the different schools during the year as well. So it's not just an event on one day, it's a number of events on a number of occasions.
So those 4 45-minute workshops that are outlined in the application, those are actually leading to further productions, are they?
Sorry, no. What's going to happen is the Living Theatre are going. The Living Theatre are going to do workshops in the schools, rehearsals in the schools to gather the ideas from the children, so they design their own folktale. So the rehearsals could be watched by all the children in the school, but the rehearsals are for this production. So they'll do a little production for the school so that all the children can see it. So it will be the 3 schools. They can use it as they wish, so they can show it to all the children. I mean, when we writing that some time ago and nailing it further down, there's going to be 50 children who are going to be part of the production, but there's going to be classes involved, and they're going to have the workshops and rehearsals in the schools. So it's going to reach the schools, but also their brothers and sisters and whoever comes to watch. So we're going to promote it to lots and lots of youth and children organisations so they can form part of the audience. And your second question was?
It was about the national tour that might come from this.
The Living Theatre have just started taking, because it's Whitwell Outdoor Theatre, and they've just started taking their adult productions for adults on tour. So they've done 1 tour this year for their adult productions, and they're obviously not going to take the children from the schools on tour, but they're going to take the folk tale that the children have designed and take that on tour. So they're going to either put it on themselves or travel from town to town and get further children to do it. That hasn't been completely decided the logistics of that, they haven't decided, but they're definitely going to take it. The story that was created in the schools on tour.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Barnard.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I see that local primary schools, how many and which ones?
I approached Kimpton because that's where I live, and they said yes. And we're thinking of Codicott and Whitwell.
So you're thinking of, you haven't had any.
The Living Theatre are going to run the entire project. So I've approached a school to find out whether a school might be interested, and Kimpton School are.
No, it's just I'm reading here. It says it is partnering with the Living Theatre and local primary schools.
Yep. So we're approaching next
But
Codicott
you
and
haven't
Whitwell.
approached them yet. No, okay. I also noticed in a couple of years ago you had a grant from this committee. And are you totally non-profit then?
Yes.
You are. That's fine. Thank you very much. Have you approached your county councillor?
No,
Not on this subject.
No,
The answer is not on this subject. No.
Well, can I suggest you do?
Okay.
County councils do have a locality budget. And at the moment, it's £5,000 a year, which is spread pretty thinly over obviously a large area. But I would suggest that maybe you do contact. I believe it's Councillor Munster, your councillor. Excellent man. I think it might be a good idea to have a word with him and ask him for some money as well.
Okay.
You can never have too much.
Thank you. Will do. Thanks for the tip.
Thank you, Councillor Barnard. Councillor Patmore.
Thank you, Chair. I declare an interest because I'm a ward councillor for Kimpton. They've worked so hard on this, and it is truly part of what we try to do here as Southern Rural. It's a community interest and asset, and they work so hard, and I fully support the grant application that they're asking for. It is amazing what they do, and it is enjoyed by not only by the parishioners of Kimpton, but widely around. And I really would urge you to support this application. And I support that you speak to Ralph Munster as well.
And you're all very, very warmly welcome to attend on the 4th of July and enjoy the whole event.
Yeah,
Please
it's an
come.
amazing event. You must come.
You must go. Yeah.
You must come. These guys work so hard.
I'll send you an email.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Patmore. I've just got a couple of questions. So one of the things that we like to do for the Southern Rural Forum and in terms of the grants is knowing the reach that and the effect that these grants will have. So do you know the attendance of the folk festival? So the audience that would be seeing the two performances on the day of the festival?
We have approximately 1,000 visitors each year, and a lot of them locals. But we also have people come from around the UK. It's quite an important festival on the folk festival circuit. So we've connected that there's 1,000 people who can see this.
Okay, thank you. And you mentioned that you've been applying for various grants and you've not yet heard from the Kimpton Parish Council. What other places have you been looking? Have you been looking for like sponsors from business or anything like that?
Yes, I have, but it's quite difficult. But I have spoken to a few businesses, yes.
And we have been turned down on one grant application, which was to Scope, which is an arts-based funding, and we didn't make their criteria, which this year, because again they have a different criteria each year depending what their focus is on. So we are trying.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. Does anyone else have any more questions? Councillor Vijay.
Just to say, I propose that we recommend that approval for this grant application for the Folk Festival.
Councillor Blackmore.
Chair, I second that application.
Okay, brilliant. Let's go to the vote. All those in favour? We just show of hands. Yeah, I was going to say we'll just show of hands. You're all drilled into it. Fantastic.
No, we say thank you. So,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you very much. Best of luck with the festival. I hope it goes really well.
Thank you. Hope to
Well, we'll see you all there.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, Councillor Graziano, your vote was also registered in favour. Thank you. Oh, Councillor Ward. Hello.
Yeah, thank you. Just on the next item, I just wanted to say I don't believe I have a conflict of interest, but just for clarity on it, a couple of the bodies that have funded the Nebworth Youth Project, the Nebworth Parish Council, I'm a parish councillor, and Nebworth Village Trust, I am the district's representative on the Village Trust. So I don't have any involvement with the organisation, but obviously I've been part to other funding decisions.
Have you interacted with them at all?
Predetermination, so it might be best to sit out if it's part of funding for this part project.
Okay, can I speak, but I won't vote? Is that reasonable? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's just a recommendation, so it's not a decision. So
It's all recommendations. Yeah,
So it's still-
I've just no voting. Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay, right, let's go and please can I invite Alan and Julia from Nebworth Youth Project to present.
Hello. Hi, good evening. Julia and I are here on behalf of the Nebworth Youth Project, of which we are members of their management committee. I am its treasurer. Julia is also an occasional volunteer supporter of the project's now just only one Friday night youth club. The club is for Nebworth Village residents aged 10 to 13, offering a safe, engaging space for some 30 young people. It is held in the school term time in the halls of Trinity Church, Nebworth. There is little or no other non-uniform youth provision in the village. I will ask Julia in a moment to tell you a little about the Friday night club's activities. The club is operated on a secular basis by 2 part-time youth workers engaged for their ability to carry out that role rather than any church connection. I mention that because the project arose from an initiative of Trinity Church Nebworth around 2008 using designated legacy funds. Trinity is a Methodist and United Reformed Church local ecumenical partnership. Around 2012, when the current 2 part-time youth workers were engaged, the project was looking to Nebworth family of churches for support. Julia is from St Martin's Anglican Church, and I'm from Trinity Church. Trinity Church remains the project's financial guarantor. However, the church now has its own financial difficulties, and only about £8,000 of the original delegated legacy fund remains. We are asking your council for a £1,500 contribution to the cost of salaries for the year 2026. To continue to offer this weekly club to support young people at a crucial stage in their development, we are now seeking funding support to cover the youth workers' salaries for calendar years 2026 and 2027. This budgeted at £4,600 each year, so £9,200 in total. This is to continue to provide a positive outlet in a rural session where opportunities for social engagement are limited. Other funds we expect or are seeking for the 2 years are £700 from the project's own funds, £1,000 from each of 3 Nebworth churches, £500 from Nebworth Parish Council, and £3,500, probably as £1,750 for each year from Nebworth Village Trust. We've had excellent support from Nebworth Village Trust in past years. I will now ask Julia just to say a little about the Friday activities conducted in support of the social education and entertainment conducted under consistent adult guidance.
I'm one of about 4 or 5 volunteers, I would say. We always have our 2 paid workers there who set up and then clear away at the end of the evening. But we are there to make sure that the children are safe and sound, behaving themselves, which they normally do. They're rowdy sessions, they're good fun. We sometimes are boy heavy, sometimes we're girl heavy. Our 2 leaders, Karen and Sandy, will organise games, they'll organise quizzes. They'll have a dressing up night with recycling materials, see what you can make with this, that and the other thing. They supply a tuck shop. We have table tennis for them to play. We have board games, etc. We would like it if they weren't on their phones, but they do like to use their phones. It's a lovely space for the children. So we'll have a group in the corridor, we'll have a group in the main hall, we'll have a group near us, we're talking to them. I think it's a safe space for them. I also have thought how, because of the age group, it's an important place for the children to come as they leave year 6 and they leave the village school and then they go out into the towns, Hitchin or Stevenage, for their secondary school. It's a good place to be able to come back to and see your friends. A sort of a comfort cushion in a way, I suppose I would say. Obviously, it's one of the safest safe spaces. Of course, there's no issues about alcohol or anything like that. So the parents know that they're safe. If they want to socialise otherwise, they're on the train, they're getting lifts with their mum or their dad to go here, there, or anywhere. So I think it serves a very, very good purpose. And the fact that I've been helping with it probably since about 2010, I'm probably with the 2nd generation of young people here, and it's just going on. A very traditional club. So about 30 children, 20, 30 children. Just a nice way to end the week, and it's good fun. It's good to be a team like that, and it just helps the children. So I think it would be great to see it continue, but obviously you have to pay your youth workers, and that's getting to be a bit of a challenge now.
Thank you, Julie.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. That was really interesting. So my sister attended youth clubs in her youth, And so I know how vitally important they are. And she found it a really good space to continue to socialize and develop her social skills as she's got SEN and disabilities. So I just wanted to say thank you. So I'm going to pass it over to the floor. Does anyone have any questions? Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Judge. Just probably a comment on a build on some of the pitch there. And obviously, like I said, through the Village Trust to the Parish Council, we've been supporting the organisation. I think the key point there was that Nebworth doesn't have any secondary school present. So what happens is when the kids leave the primary school, they'll start dissipating out with different social groups. And I think which is why a number of the organisations locally have been supporting it. It's a key, probably the only real facility that we've got to be able to actually try and keep the networks of kids together as friends and actually socialise, and like I said, in a safe space, given all the other concerns. So that's probably one of the primary reasons why it's had a lot of support in some of the other funding bodies in the village.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Peace.
Yes, thanks for that. My first question was going to be, why is it 10 to 13 years? But you've both explained that so well. And not everybody wants to be involved in a Scouts or some sort of club of that nature. Do the children have to pay to come to the session?
No.
Okay.
We have a donations box. They help with the tabletop sale. They helped with the stall that we had at Nebworth Fete in 2024, which I think was blown away. So that was a bit of a challenge. But no, they don't have to donate. No, they come in with their pocket money for their tuck, and that's it really.
I think that's even better then.
Yeah.
You get.
But they have accumulated some funds through fundraising and so on, and they're in a position to, from their own funds at this stage, to contribute going forward. Yeah.
Thank you.
Councillor Barnard.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Congratulations. I think it's wonderful. I know that across the county has supported the inauguration of youth clubs and so on and so forth. But then when the youth workers have to go back to County Hall, if you like, they tend to sort of collapse away. So you are a success story, and I congratulate you for that. Same question again. I believe you've got the same county councillor, Ralph Munser. Have you approached him?
That's one avenue we've not yet.
May I suggest you do?
Yes, thank you.
And it's there can never be too much money, can there? So,
Thank you very much.
Jolly good. Well, carry on with the great work.
Thank you.
I've got a question. Do you provide? Is it a structured? Do you have like structured or theme sessions each week, or is it a sort of a flowing? Come have conversations with the youth workers and yourselves, have fun, etc. You don't know what you're going to sort of go into and discover, I suppose, in that session, or is it today we're going to talk about X, Y, or Z?
No, I think it's much more casual than that. I think much more casual. Your second comment is more accurate. So, yeah, we more talk and mingle, etc. I've had a go at playing table tennis a while ago, and they just go from there. Each different groups, they hang out with each other. So the boys are mad keen on football. So that quite often ends the evening. But no, it's very casual. It's just how they want to be, really. What I think I was thinking earlier on this evening, what I'm really glad about is that we all suffered in COVID from no face-to-face socialising, didn't we? And I think nowadays you hear so much about problems with people being bullied on Instagram or whatever it is, texts and stuff like that. And that won't happen if these children learn how to communicate socially, face to face, voice to voice. That can only be a good thing. I think, and yeah, the Friday night club provides that as well. I hadn't really thought about it before. It's good rather than spending all evening in your bedroom on your phone.
Thank you. Councillor Barnard?
Sorry, Chair, coming back on there, there's something I did want to mention, which I think is quite important, is that there's quite a bit of housing development going to be going on in your area, which is obviously going to bring more children into the area. There's going to be greater pressure on your services, and for that reason, I think it's a very good idea, and I'd like to propose granting.
Thank you very much. Can I get a seconder? Thank you,
Chair.
Councillor
Second.
Patmore. Right, let's go to a vote. Just raise of hands, guys. Those in favour? Thank you, Councillor Graziano. Your vote is recorded as well. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming
very
to talk to us, and best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Barnard?
The next item is Purton Sports and Social Club. I should declare an interest not only as the County Council and the District Councillor for the area, but I have also been instrumental in arranging grants for them, and therefore I don't know whether I should sit out of this one. Yeah, thank you.
Have you partaken in any of the sports at the club? Have you taken part in the sports? Okay. I would like to. Where are I? I'd like to invite Steve from Pearton Sports and Social Club to present. I think you're online.
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Thank you very much for allowing me to step into the Dragon's Den this evening. And thanks to David Barnard as well for all the help he has given us over recent years. Purton Sports and Social Club has been in existence since 1993. I've been the chairman since 2006, so for the past 19 years. The club itself was closed through the pandemic for 18 months and really only survived because of grants from North Arts District Council, so we're very grateful for those. But since the pandemic, the club has been extremely popular. We've had new buildings in the village, new housing estates, and many people just seem to want to come back and just socialise at the club. So that now we are open every Friday evening right through the year. We have various fundraising events, a big summer fair. We had a Brewfest event for 2 days this year, a Boxing Day run. Our firework display was sold out at 2,200 people this year. So we are a very popular club and we are very well supported by the local community. Most of our fundraising, I must admit, for the past 7 or more years now, has gone towards the building of a new pavilion in Purton. We are a long way through that project now, and we're hoping that that pavilion will be available for use by about the end of February next year. So the Sports and Social Club itself, as I say, most of its fundraising efforts has gone toward that, and we have been able to contribute almost £150,000 to that project. The reason I'm speaking to you this evening, we applied for some grant money at the start of this year from North Arts District Council, from the Community Fund, to replace all of our outdoor furniture. Excuse me. We had picnic benches that were over 20 years old. We had a set of trestle tables originally given by the parish council, again, that were there before my time, over 20 years old. And the same with all the outdoor chairs. They were all different styles and colours of plastic chair, and they were really very much past their sell-by date. So we applied for a grant to replace all of that. At first we were unsuccessful, but then more money was made available to the fund, and we were given a second chance to use that grant, which we did. We spent that money by the end of March as requested, but the prices had changed slightly from our original application to when we spent the money. And in fact, we were able to buy more tables than we had originally asked for. So really, our application to you tonight is to just plug a bit of a gap in that grant, if you like. We now have more tables than we have chairs. And what we would like to do is to buy another 24 chairs so that the tables match the chairs. I think the only criticism of our Brewfest event this year was that it could have done with more tables and chairs. Obviously, as we become more popular, especially through the spring and summer and autumn months, people want to sit outside, and we want to be able to provide them with tables and chairs. So our application to you this evening is for 24 chairs, at a total cost of about £920. We're asking you for a grant of 750 if possible, and we will make up the rest. That's it really, not as worthy as the two that have gone before me, but every penny we can raise is very gratefully received if possible.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Steve. I'm going to open to the floor. Does anyone have any questions? Councillor Ward.
Oh yeah, thank you, Chair. Look, firstly, I sympathise with this a lot because we've had similar challenges in Nebworth in the Village Hall around suitability of the chairing and complaints, and we've invested a lot in that. I'm just curious as to your comment around the number of chairs. I think you said 2,000 chairs, which
no,
supposed to...
No, 2,000 people came along. We actually bought originally 120 chairs for 20 6-foot tables. But we were also able to buy another 6 smaller tables. So it's really 24 chairs that we need to go around the smaller tables.
Sorry, it's my hearing. 24.
2,000 chairs.
I thought you had Oasis turning up or something, you know. Yeah. No, exactly. I was thinking, no, exactly. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Apologies for that. I will try and listen harder next time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Vijay.
Thanks. I just wanted to ask, so the 10,660 that you got from the North Herts Prosperity Fund,
yes,
did you have to pay more to get these additional tables, or that 10,600 got you these additional tables just without the chairs now? Yeah, because the prices had changed and the tables, by the time we bought them, were on special offer. So we were able to buy a few more than we had originally applied for. And they will certainly be put to good use. Well, they have been put to good use already. So we will probably look to buy more next year, because the plan is that with the new pavilion, with the new facilities that we have available, we want more outdoor events. And we are looking forward to a very busy 2026. Right. Okay. So there was no additional funding provided, or on top of the 10.6? No, that was the limit. Okay. Thank you.
Councillor, please.
It sounds like you're running some really popular events, which is great. A couple of the ones you mentioned, the Brewfest and the fireworks, are they profit-making events?
Yes, indeed.
And if so, where has that funding gone to?
Well, all of the funding that we have raised, as I say, for the past few years has, we have been building up a fund really since the pavilion project started in 2018. And in fact, I had a meeting this afternoon with the kitchen suppliers who have now submitted their final quote for kitchen equipment. And when we pay for that, we will have really paid out virtually all the money that we have. All of our reserves for the last few years will pretty much be taken up. So even the profits from this year's firework display will be going towards that kitchen and bar provision.
Thank you.
So we're now pretty much where we're supposed to be. I mean, we are a not-for-profit organisation. We're not looking to build up massive profits and massive reserves. So any money that we do make goes back into the community facilities that we have. So we don't object to spending that. But of course, it means that there's not a lot extra left over.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions? Okay, brilliant. In that case, let's move to I'd like to propose that we forgotten all my words. Sorry, that Pearton Sports and Social Club that we offer a grant of £750 or propose a grant. Would anyone like to second?
Happy to second that, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Peace. Let's go to the vote. Show of hands, please. Those in favour. Thank you, Councillor Graziano. Your vote has been recorded as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lower his hand or
Councillor Graziano, did you want to speak or you need to lower your hand otherwise? Your virtual hand.
That's done.
5 years of Zoom and still here we are. I can't see his hand. Okay, moving on to our presentation of the evening. So this is all about CCTV. So can I please invite John Marshall from the North Herts Council Community Safety Team to present.
It works. Wonderful. Good evening, everybody. When Laura invited me to come along, I said I'd be more than happy to come. I asked what she wished me to discuss. She said anything, but you've only got 5 minutes, so I will be as quick as I can. She did mention CCTV, and I've added a little bit about a local favourite for Southern Rural, which is Flytime, with just a few statistics at the end. For those who don't know me, I think I've had dealings with most of the councillors here. I am John Marshall. I am the Community Safety Team Leader at the council here, and my main responsibilities are dealing with environmental crime and antisocial behaviour. As of April, we took on the mantle of being responsible for CCTV. I thought that would be a nice, simple, easy task, but is far from it. Just a little bit of an oversight. North Herts Council own and run 65 fixed cameras across the district, of which I had a quick count up today. There are only 2 that are in Southern Rural, and both of those are in Nebworth. So the rest, the lion's share are in Letchworth, Hitchin, Royston, with a few in Baldock. But on top of those 65 cameras, we do have 5 mobile cameras at our disposal, which can be used to target outbreaks of antisocial behaviour, crime, disorder, whatever it may be. And I'll give you a little bit of an oversight of how those cameras can get deployed, because from a very simple method when I first started here at the council 7 years ago, it is now very complicated. CCTV provision costs us well over £100,000 a year. So when people ask me, can I have a fixed camera in whatever area, it's very difficult, because that, although that's an ongoing cost of roughly £2,000 per camera, to actually install a fixed site camera can be anything up to £30,000, depending on what they're going to need to do. So we do tend to shy away as a council from spending that sort of money unless it is necessary, obviously, or we can get buy-in from someone like developers. If we expect an issue is going to arise due to a development or something similar, then we can ask for some of the costs up front. But since I've started, I know they are trying to cut back on the number of cameras that are in use. So the 5 mobile cameras that we currently have, it used to be very simple. The police would say we have an issue in whichever area. We would identify a suitable lamppost. I would speak to the CCTV partnership that run the cameras for us. They would in turn speak to Ringway to check that the lamppost that we've chosen was suitable. They would say yes. We would then spend £150, £200 to get a spur put on the lamppost, and away we go. 2 years ago, Ringway and HCC moved the goalposts and decided that because there were certain unlawful uses of the electricity on the lampposts, that they would insist on a specific fitment being fitted on each lamppost to accommodate CCTV to negate the theft of the electricity. They also decided that every lamppost had to have a electrical safety check, and then had to go through British standard wind safety checks and a whole host of other checks. Now you can imagine the number of CCTV across the county. The CCTV partnership have now having to be catch up. They have caught up, and we have now managed to identify a number of lampposts that we will use. It's a slow process because once we identify it, it has to be checked for safety, and then we have to put out to tender to a third party to do the electrical safety testing. They are a national company and they don't prioritise Hertfordshire above anyone else unless we twist their thumbs. They did one in Stevenage recently near the Ibis Hotel for, I think you'll probably understand the reasons why. But we are now currently on a list waiting for our lampposts that we have identified to be upgraded and ready for use. Now, Nebworth are lucky because the local PC there, I'll rewind a little bit. What I did was I went to all the police sergeants in North Herts and the inspector and said, I would need you to identify areas where you have or are likely to have or have had antisocial behaviour and crime. Get back to me so I can make a list of the lampposts, because we get charged a day rate per post, £800. So if you come to me and say, I want this lamppost because we've got this issue, could you do it for me? I'm likely to say no, because it's £800. If you come to me and say, I have 10 lampposts I want you to look at, yes, you can do it, because that will cost me £800 for all 10. So simple maths. I like to keep it simple. £80 a lamppost. I can afford to do that and we'll justify it. So we put it out to all the police inspectors, all the police sergeants and the neighbourhood policing teams. And there was a few in the town centres that came back, and Grace, who's the local PC, rural PC that covers Nebworth, came back, and there's 3 sites. 2 were approved, I think, in Nebworth, so they have them, but they are the only rural ones that I am aware of. Having said that, the idea was that we were to get a whole network of lampposts that are ready for deployment of mobile cameras, because the next issue is I only have 5 for North Herts. They cost in excess of £6,500 each, and they are limited in their use purely and simply because they run off SIM cards rather than Wi-Fi. The fixed site ones run off Wi-Fi, so they are running 24/7. They can be monitored 24/7. The mobile cameras aren't, so they have a limited shelf life per month, dictated to by the size of the SIM card, which isn't large. It comes up about 2 or 3 days if they were viewed constantly instead of the 30 odd. The cameras are still very good, but they are not. They're not quite the well. They're not the same standards as the fixed ones. So we will use them. The pros of them are they're very versatile, so we can move them about. Once we've got the locations which will fit within our budgets, we will be able to just move them. But the fact that we have 5, there is huge demand, as you can imagine, because the police sergeant for Royston thinks he deserves them more than Letchworth, thinks more than Baldock, thinks more than Hitchin. So we do have huge demands. One is permanently in Royston because of Wi-Fi issues. So we're really down to 4. Hopefully, I know we have applied for some budget this year for the community safety team. One of the things that I would like to do is probably purchase another camera that we can use to site wherever we feel necessary. And we're also looking to release a couple of other cameras that are currently on long-term loan because of the location and the issues by putting up some fixed cameras there. So there's the two. We do also have wildlife cameras. They are exactly what they say. They are wildlife cameras. They are used for people to put in their garden to catch the fox or badger coming in. But we use them for fly tipping, to catch fly tippers and the like. If there's antisocial behaviour, we will use them for that. But, and I will stress this, they are not designed for the purpose that we use them for. So they are very hit and miss as to how good they are. Whilst the images, if you put it in your garden to catch the fox, would be superb, they're not great for someone coming out fly tipping with trying to get index numbers, etc. There were a couple of questions that were submitted. I did ask if there was any in advance, so I didn't get ambushed on the day like a typical Dragon's Den. Yeah, I'm waiting for Councillor Barnard to come up with a low baller, but oh crikey. Now, Councillor Pearce asked about cameras on private property and how do we deal. She mentioned the fact, where does it sit between police, ourselves as a community safety team, and the Information Commissioner's Office. We are led, when it's on private property, very much by what the ICO guidelines are. And the last time I spoke with them, they wouldn't deem it to be excessive for someone to have 4 cameras per external wall. So on an average house, if you've got 16 cameras on your property, they would not deem that to be excessive. I can see some looks. I had the same reaction when they said that to me. But the issue arises quite often when people deem that they have to have 16 cameras outside their house, is that one is probably protecting the property for each wall, and the other 12 are probably being used antisocially to annoy their neighbours. Very difficult for us to prove because they'll say, well, it's to protect the house. The ICO say we can do it. We are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. I know that probably doesn't answer your question, Councillor Pearce, but it is a fact. It's fluid. The ICO will say, yes, they can do it. So most people say, well, I've only got 10 cameras, and they say I can have 16. So we're well below what the limit is. Prove that I'm prying on my neighbours by videoing into their property. And then we get down the lines of gathering evidence. We are there purely and simply really to assist the police, because it would then border, if it is going into those sort of realms, on harassment. The police would have to make a judgment call on that to deal with it. But I think they're very reluctant, bearing in mind the ICO guidelines. So I apologise if it doesn't answer your question entirely. I'm sure it doesn't, but it's as good as I can come up with. Councillor Graziano, good evening. I know you're online. Your question, I think, was, when are we going to start seeing covert CCTV? I could be facetious and answer that as never. I hope you'll never see it, because if you do, we've failed. They're no longer covert. You were promised being deployed in the area to ramp up fly tipping prosecutions, and you've heard nothing. With all due respect, I will not divulge whether we will or will not be using cameras, other than at this meeting I will say we do. We use them. We use them quite regularly. I know we have some out this evening, but I will not divulge where, when, how, why, what and wherefore. So rest assured, we have 10 that cost us a considerable amount of money about 2 years ago. We do use them. as I said earlier, they are limited in their scope of what they can do, but they are out there. Other authorities are using them. We have all sorts of issues around covert surveillance. So we do put, if you see signs up saying fly tipping and we are using, we may be using CCTV in the area, might be a clue that we got a camera there, might not. But we have to do that if we're going to put a camera out. So if you see those signs going up, smile and behave, because there might be someone watching you. Again, the issues we have with CCTV is, I don't know what mileage of roads we have out in southern rural. It's vast. We don't have specific spots that we can go to put a camera up that we are likely to get a result, because fly tippers come in, they see a pull in by the side of the road, they will throw their waste wherever they can, move on. They won't use the same place next time. They'll go 100 yards down the road or wherever it will be. It is a constant battle, but we are trying to fight it as best we can. I know I've gone over my 5 minutes, but Laura did mention that maybe someone would like a little update on fly tipping as well, because it's a favourite. Fly tipping. Before I do that, I'll just say that the CCTV, the fixed CCTV that we use the partnership, already the first 9 months of this year, they've had 767 incidents where CCTV has been used in the town centres. Out of those 767, this may reassure you, only 4 were in Nebworth using the Nebworth cameras. 2 of those were to try and locate people who had gone missing. 1 was some drunken behaviour, and the other was someone they felt had mental health issues. So reassuring that you've got cameras there. They don't get used very often, which I hope reassures you even more that Nebworth is probably a safe-ish area. I took some very quick figures today. I don't like bombarding people with figures because they don't necessarily have a lot of meaning. But in the last 5 years, since January of 21 to today, we've carried out 3,942 investigations into fly tipping. I know that because I had a Freedom of Information request on Tuesday, and that's the figures that I provided from that. That is just investigations. That doesn't include fly tipping of something like a fridge freezer, where we won't be even informed, it will just be cleared. So you can tell fly tipping figures will be vastly in excess of that. That is where we think there may be evidence that we will be able to find and prosecute someone. So far this financial year, so since the 1st of April up until today, we have already exceeded our sanctions against fly tippers than we have ever done. That includes prosecutions, fixed penalties, community protection warnings, and as I say, there's still 4 months to go in relation to that. So we're going to quite seriously go over our usual sanctions. We're still finding that courts are, I don't want to say unsupportive, but they don't seem to treat fly tipping as seriously as some people would like. Our most recent court case, we took 2 individuals to court. They were already on community protection notices for fly tipping. Multiple times they had been caught. They were caught again. There was 3 of them, a family of 3. Our starting fine for a fixed penalty is £400. Bearing in mind they refused to pay this, they've gone to court and been fined £400. So we have gone through all the rigmarole of court to get them there. Trial. The only thing that was potentially beneficial was we were granted £6,000 costs against them. So whether they will pay it or not, we don't know, but at least the courts are looking to support us, at least in trying to claim our costs back, legal fees, etc. We have just begun working with the police rural operational support team. They're based in Hertford, but they cover obviously the rural area because that's what their name states. We are running what's called Operation Agrarian. We've had 2 operations, both centred around sort of southern rural, backing onto Luton. We did a evening operation in October. We did a day operation last week. The good news is last week we caught and seized a van that was known to be used by some quite prolific fly tippers. I know Councillor Graziano had the photographs of the vehicle on the back of a recovery truck. So it is working. It is in its infancy. It's in its early stages. The team do run or operate drones as well. So we can use different methods of targeting fly tippers. And the last thing I'll say, there's an open invite. If anybody would like to come along on one of these days out, it's not a day, it's probably 3 or 4 hours in the morning, more than welcome to come and see how we operate, what we do, where we do it. And as I say, space will be limited, but if you'd like to let me know, I'll be more than happy to accommodate. And I think Councillor Graziano has got his name down for the next one, hopefully in January. So, any questions?
Immediately. Okay. Councillor Graziano and then Councillor Barnard.
Hi, John. Thank you for your presentation. And I also would like to acknowledge the spotlight in Hitchwood at the moment. You are working very hard, and I know this. You, Dave, and Jane. Jane is out here, I think, every other day trying to catch people out. So I know you're working hard. And thank you for responding to my questions about covert CCTV. It's what I get asked all the time. I appreciate that. I wouldn't want to know where they are. It defeats the point. But I wanted to acknowledge that it is a very, very difficult area to manage. I'm also, on a litter pick every month. And, I've been caught dragging bags off private land into public land and making sure the police are aware that I'm doing that. I've also got contacts with Luton Airport because they own the majority of the land to the Luton side in North Hart. So I've got a contact there when it happens. So I just wanted to open acknowledge that I know you're pushing hard. And sometimes it's frustrating because people see the van on the back of a low load, the low loader, and then I'm getting comments on social media, and I've got to bear it in the pub. What are we doing about the van? And it's disappointing to hear that when you're going after these people, they're not paying the fines, and the judge awards them again the same amount. The message I'm getting is we need to get stricter with or harsher with the fines, maybe to deter people. And I'm the ones putting the signs up, no fly tipping in North Hart. And do you know what, John? Somebody's going around taking them all down again. So I do think there's some sort of criminal behaviour in this area, and it's all connected. But I just wanted to acknowledge, yes, thank you very much for the focus. It's really appreciated. And, I'm shouting loud and proud about it. So thank you. And I'll be joining you in January, hopefully, for a ride around trying to catch these people. So thank you.
Yes, you'll be more than welcome in January. We've already got a spot reserved for you in the back of a police car. Fines are very difficult. I know we've been given the authorization and we're still looking into whether we increase the fines to the maximum that government allow, which is £1,000 for a fixed penalty. I have reservations in as much as the majority of people that we do catch fly tipping are from the lower socio-economic background. And if you just give them £1,000 fine, I know what will happen. We'll just go to court and the courts will fine them a lot less. So we have to be a little bit realistic about what we can do. We can offer a reduced rate, maybe back to where we are, £300, but we're still sort of discussing the best way forward in relation to that. So yeah, we do try and work as well as we can, but it's quite tricky to strike the right balance between recouping some money, because the good thing is if we do give a fixed penalty notice out and it gets paid, we, North Arts Council, keep the money that we can then reinvest into targeting and combating environmental crime. So double-edged sword that we quite like. If we go to court, we don't get the money. So.
Thank you, Councillor Graziano. Over to Councillor Barnard and then Councillor Ward.
Yeah, I'm going to echo the excellent words of Joe Graziano. Dave, yourself and your team worked very hard, and we worked very hard to try and get additional office staff to back you up in there, because in my opinion, there must be a better way than having our environmental enforcement officers in the office writing up reports and everything else there, where they could be out on the road, which is where they're going to be more effective. I was going to ask you, where are the fixed cameras monitored? Is it in Stevenage or?
Yes, the control room at Stevenage monitor all the cameras, both the fixed site ones and our mobile ones will have a feed through. So if there is a mobile camera out, for example, say Coddigate High Street, because there's an issue we've got, it can be patched straight through to the control room, and they can monitor it and patch through to the police. As I say, if it is used too often, then it will go out of the SIM card usage, but it rarely happens. So, yeah.
Thank you. I also note that some years ago, Southern Rural actually funded a number of covert cameras, and I don't know whether they're still around or whether they're usable or whatever. But this forum, sorry, I beg your pardon, Chair, has certain funds which have to be used, use it or you lose it by the end of April. And I wonder whether it would be beneficial for you to maybe look as to whether we could help you with some
Sorry,
funding on that.
Councillor Barnard, I don't think that's in our scope, unfortunately.
Well, when did it change?
Not community grant budget.
All right, well, let's look at whatever budget we can. I know that cameras have worked. I've seen CCTVs and so on and so forth. The other suggestion, probably unworkable, you catch fly tippers. They leave their name and address, and you go along and you find it's some poor householder or whatever. But having caught the fly tippers themselves, would it not be able to confiscate the vehicles and say, right, your fine is £500. When you pay your £500, you can have your van back. It cost me £300 plus for a skip, so it's beneficial for me to actually not have a skip and go and dump it up the road. Your comments?
Yes, we do have the power to confiscate vans, and if we were to be on patrol in our next operation with the police, we seize the van. We have to store it until it goes to court, and the judge or the magistrates grant us for it to be crushed. The danger there is we will incur a daily storage fee at the recovery company until we go to court. Courts can take, I think we've got a case that's over 2 years old. He keeps stalling, pleading not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. So if we were saying, even if it's £10, you're talking £3,500 a year storage fees. And then if we don't get to keep the vehicle and it gets handed back, we will probably have to pay more. So we have to be very careful. Absolutely. The reason we work with the police is because they also have certain powers, and we find a lot of these vehicles used by fly tippers are breaching insurance regulations. So they probably won't be insured for business or won't be insured at all. So it's far easier. Or the police will use powers. If the vehicle's been used in crime, fly tipping's a crime, they will seize it for that, and then it will get crushed. So yes, short answer to your question is yes, we will seize vehicles if we find them fly tipping.
Thank you. The only other thing, if I may, Chair, is to have you any indication of the annual cost of clearing up fly tips?
We do, but it's an old formula. We have to submit figures each month to DEFRA, and they will say that a black bag costs £7 or a car boot load costs £7, a small van load costs £25. We know full well that the figures are way out, because if that van load is asbestos, it's going to cost a lot more. But all we will put onto the return is, and I think the last time, ludicrous figure, was about £65,000 it cost the council. It's a lot more, but a lot of it is built into the waste contract. So to work it out actually would be quite difficult. But they were saying 60 to 70,000 pounds a few years ago.
So a lot more than that.
A lot more now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Ward.
Yeah, thanks, and thanks for the update. Just probably a couple of things, John. So we had an update from Inspector Lant here in March, I think. I don't know if we've got another one on the agenda coming up, but that was quite useful. In Nebworth, there's probably a couple of trends. Unfortunately, it seems to be picking up again. I was going to mention it later, but it's relevant now. One is domestic burglaries, which, while not exactly the same as antisocial behaviour, is on the rise, and the local police team are looking at that, including overt and covert things like CCTV and patrols that he talked about here last time. Related to that, though, there has, well, at least anecdotally in terms of my inbox, I get an increase in fly tipping, particularly in locations in the village as opposed to rural locations outside of the village. And I think one got escalated right up to the MP and things recently. So I was just wondering, have you so the CCTV is helpful in that regard, but have you got statistics you can share with us, just now or offline, just in terms of actually what the trends are like on the fly tipping side? Because I get told all the time by residents it's a massive increase, and it'd be helpful to actually know what you see. Yes, certainly. I don't have the figures here specifically, but I mean, if you wish to sort of contact me and say, could you give me some figures for X location, then we can sort of drill down and find out what there are. On the back of what you're saying about the burglary, I know that's where Grace was asking for camera locations to be installed. So they will be, hopefully they'll be in the right place. But we are led by what the police say. So they will come to me, providing they give me a good case as to why, then I will be more than sympathetic to spending some of our budget to do that and put up a new camera location. Great, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for talking to us, John. It was really interesting. Fly tipping is a blight upon our countryside, and I do remember each time that you've gone to present to the community forum that fly tipping is a very heated topic. So thank you very much.
Oxfordshire having to pick up that.
Don't, honestly. Yeah, no.
I think that'd break us. Right, thank you. But as I say, if anyone wishes to contact me, Laura will send out emails, and I'm quite approachable, really, despite what Councillor Barnard might say.
Okay, so next we've got item 5. So information note on the draft town centre strategy. So I'm just going to provide a quick summary of the information note and ask for any questions. So we have been, this is for residents and members in the Southern Rural wards. We are invited to attend the Hitchin Forum meeting on the 9th of December to hear a short briefing on the draft town centre strategy for North Herts that will be going out for public consultation in December/January. Due to resource constraints, it has not been possible to present the strategy at all of the forums, such as our wonderful one. And so we've had to prioritise the town forums. And if you have any questions around the town centre strategy, please get in touch with Donna or Louise. Councillor Wright, yes. Does anyone have any questions about the town centre strategy? Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Chair. Probably a observation. Councillor Albert actually mentioned this in the cabinet meeting, I think it was. So this was going through about Nebworth and the fact that it's a very big, oversized village, almost a small town. It's got more expansion now with the current local plan and potentially the next local plan. And it's probably worth, we can pick it with them, but probably worth thinking about in terms of how we'll try and tackle that in terms of a add on to the town strategy or something like that, thinking about what it is, because it sort of seems to get forgotten. I was appreciative of Councillor Albert mentioning that in the cabinet discussion.
Okay, thank you. So just to clarify, so is he suggesting that Nebworth be a part of the town centre strategy?
He didn't go that far, but I think that's worthy of a discussion of should we have I don't know whether it can be extended to cover Nebworth or thinking about it, because there's a few things that come up, obviously in a planning context, where having the similar level of thought that goes into the town centre strategies would probably be very helpful for Nebworth as it expands, because otherwise we're just reliant on things like the neighbourhood plan and generic processes that apply across the district. So
thank you. Councillor Peace.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is a very constrained time of year and it's difficult to get people at every meeting, but I know when Overview and Scrutiny looked at town centres, they made it very clear that the villages need to be included in the town centre strategies going forward, especially in terms of things like parking, because obviously with us being further out of the towns, we're more likely to drive into the town centres without reliable bus services. Sometimes it's the only option on a weekend that you can do. So I just want to make sure that Southern Rural are still at the front and centre of town centre reviews, even though we aren't in a town centre, because we use them and we have to travel to them.
No, but you make a very fair point. If the councillors were here, I think they would respond by saying, please come along to the the meeting on the 9th of December. Okay, moving on to item 6, which is the information note on the proposed parking tariff increases. So there is a proposed parking tariff increase for 2026 to 27. This is in line with a 2% inflationary increase to all tariffs across all council operated car parks in Baldock, Hitchin, Letchworth, Royston and Nebworth, rounded up to the nearest 10p, except for the free 2-hour tariff, 0 to 2 hour tariff at the Norton Common car parks in Letchworth to facilitate users of the Common and being out of centre car parks. This 2% increase is below the general level of inflation, as the council is conscious of the increase in the cost of living and seeks to support local businesses and visitors to its town centre and to Nebworth where possible. I know that, as Councillor Peace has just explained, is that we are the people that are more likely to use the car parks, and therefore this is something that affects the rural areas more, in my opinion, than those in the towns themselves. So does anyone have any questions about the proposed parking tariff increases, bearing in mind that we aren't the administration nor being able to comment on the parking tariff increases? Councillor Barnard.
Surprise. Not a question, but a comment. Because I believe that any increase in car parking charges is a further charge on the rural communities. Our town centres are slowly dying. I'm sure everybody will acknowledge that, and dependent a lot on our rural communities coming into the town centres, bringing their business in there. And I believe that a freeze, at least, would be better. We've just had a budget which is going to take the normal person into paying more. We should not be doing that. We should be encouraging people to come in and spend their money, little they may have, in our town centres. I would object to this.
Thank you, Councillor Barnard. Okay, Moving on, community update, item 7. Can I invite the Community Partnerships Officer to present, please? Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Other than what's already on the report, my main push is, Becca already knows what it's going to be, is the North Herts Heroes Awards. Hopefully you should all have sort of seen that it's now launched. It's the really nice part that I love doing now. Me and Becca do it, and it's just a big celebration of people go above and beyond in the community. I'm sure you know a lot of people that do that with them in all of your areas. So please do feel free to nominate, spread the word, share. They get a lovely video. You can look at the past on the council YouTube as well. They get a video made specifically about them and their achievements and the input they have in the community, and they get celebrated at an awards event as well next year in March. So yeah, just here to spread the word and to push it, because it's a really nice part. So yeah, please share away. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, just if you have any North Herts heroes, advertise it amongst your parish councillors as well, please, as we do every year. And anyone that you can think of in your community that you think is deserving of such an award. Okay, ward member activities, item 8. Do members have any updates for the community forum? Just wait till July, because I hear there's a folk festival. Okay. Okay, item 9, topics for future forums. So we've spoken in the past about the list of sort of topics, but does anyone have any suggestions for other topics or people that they'd like to talk to? We have tried to get developers, haven't we?
Yes. Oh, sorry, I don't need to joke in here as well. Thank you. Yes, we tried to put some developers for Nebworth, because that was what the plan was for this one. But talking to planning, it's just not lining up when sort of consultations and things are going through in the pipeline kind of thing. So it's not to say that it might not be something in the future, but I'm kind of talking to planning on when the best time to come to the forums would be.
Councillor Peace.
Maybe on a theme of planning, how about something to do with S106 contributions? And I know our parish councils are usually asked what they would like when a development comes along, and it would be perhaps nice to have some guidance on how that process works and how to make sure that once a development is finished, that the money actually gets paid out, because we're having a bit of an issue with that in Ickleford at the minute.
No, you're making a very good point, because when we had the Nebworth Youth Town, the youth club there, that would be an ideal spot perhaps for something Section 106. But if we had people that were able to talk to us about Section 106, we'd be able to ask them what's an appropriate thing to request, for example. Councillor Barnard?
Absolutely. Section 106 basically is to where there is a development and obviously more housing and so on and so forth is to make sure that the rest of the community doesn't suffer as a result. So there's contributions on that. Previously, every couple of years or so, we've had a list coming through with our particular wards or parishes of what Section 106 monies are available and what they're apportioned to. It would be useful to have an update on that one for when we go to our parishes and they say, oh, we want to do this one. So you do realise you've got this amount of money which is sitting. So it would be good to do that.
I'm not sure if they're looking or they were looking at having it more available online at some point, but we can have a look into that as well for Section 106. That's absolutely fine. I know previously or historically in March is always the police. So we were kind of reaching out already, or reaching out just this week to see if they are available. But we can certainly look at Section 106 for, well, I don't know, the police would probably take up quite a lot on one evening, probably, I guess. But yeah, definitely maybe June when the dates come out, we can look at that as well.
Councillor Ward.
Yeah, I happen to be an esteemed member of the Section 106 Task and Finish group, which is chaired by Councillor Munster, if he was here. Yeah, it is indeed. And this is one of the topics that we have on the radar for that. Basically the transparency in the process around how the Section 106 kind of asks arise and come in and are dealt with the planning team through the application process. So we're trying to look at it, and we have exactly the same questions and concerns, which we're trying to get some answers to and talk to officers about at the moment. So it's probably a really good thing to bring back here, but in probably timing wise, worth talking to the officers and Ralph about when a sensible time is that we've got some update from that to bring back.
Thank you. So there's some good topics to explore. In that case, I am going to call the meeting to a close. Do I get to bang the gavel?
I'm not stopping you.
Oh, felt good. Felt good. Yeah. Is that not what I am? Am I not chair?
Oh, you're chair of council now.
Yeah.
It's super key to role. Is that internal?
I'm just going up and up. Okay, in that case, thank you very much, everyone, for attending. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.